This is ridiculous. Major Devils injury updates on one of their forwards and prized possessions that they brought in this offseason. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Devils Digest. I'm your host, Ryan the Goose Gosiker, here with you, as always, bringing the latest, greatest Devils content. Before we get into the program, we've got some injuries to talk about and where the Devils could potentially tweak their lineup. We want you to be a subscriber to the channel, all right? We want this subscribe number to go closer to 100, all right? We need to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's been a goal of ours and in the Devils Digest community, so we need your help. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that's the one way that you can get all the great notifications and be known in on the breaking news, injury updates, post-game reports, all that good stuff. So, I said we got some injury updates to talk about. You saw in that little intro that certainly Tom Fitzgerald can't be happy at this moment in time, as Dadonov will miss, I should say, up to, well, let's see what the Devils have to say about it. He's on injured reserve. They've recalled Brian Haula from Utica, although based on the way they played the lineup the other night, that doesn't necessarily mean Brian Hallinen's in the lineup for tomorrow night in Columbus, okay? What it simply means is that, he is available if Sheldon Keefe would like to go that route. Now, we all know Sheldon Keefe to be a guy that likes to switch the lineup up and down, guy that really can't stay with consistent lineups. However, I would implore him to just basically send out the same lineup he did against Tampa Bay, okay? You got to ride momentum. I'm not a fan of Andre Palat being up there in line one, but it worked the other night, all right? And, I think right now while you have this injury, to him, you're waiting for Gritsuk to continue to elevate his game and everything like that. I think you have to kind of buy yourself some time. And right now, I guess that's the route of Andre Palat. So we'll see. And I think there could be some switches, but there's not going to be the big switch until Stefan Noesen comes back. And that's not for a while still. So Devils have kind of been dealing with these injuries already, right? Stefan Noesen coming into the year. Now Dadonov, one of the guys they got in free agency. Kovacevic is out for a large part of this season coming up. So it's very frustrating if you're a Devils fan, and that's why I said it's kind of ridiculous. Like, trying to manage all this stuff. And again, those are not the top guys, okay? The top guys are healthy for right now, knock on wood, okay? But the point is, the Devils didn't even take the ice, and they were already missing Noesen for a while, Kovacevic for months. Now Dadonov goes down after just one game, okay? So kind of frustrating if you're a Devils fan. But let's take a look at potential ways that they could shake up the lineup, right? How could they replace him, right? I know they called up Hallinan, but I found this article pretty interesting because you see down there the last two words, or the last part of the sentence, it's a perfect opportunity to recall promising forward Shane LaChance. Okay, now that would be interesting. Okay, some of the dynamic there. What could the Devils do? The Devils could not change anything, right? They could just say, "Hey, this lineup worked against Tampa Bay. This kid Zach McElwain seemingly played well at the right wing on the fourth line." Okay, Sheldon Keefe seemed to push the right buttons down there in Tampa, but who knows? And before it says don't change anything is a little bit, the context of that is about the Dadonov injury, potentially looking at 4+ weeks before his return. Technically, he could return earlier. All comes down to the specific bone and type of fracture, but the Devils probably won't rush him back. So, again, Devils don't have to do anything in the lineup if they don't want to. They can just say, we got it all figured out. Hallinen's just an extra in case somebody else goes down, and we roll from there. Now, Devils could not call up, but they could go with Shane LaChance. Okay, maybe he continues to impress. But just going back to this, it seems like the Devils are keen on sticking with don't change anything, right? I mean, with Brian Hallinan coming up, right? I mean, Zach McElwain is the guy, right? He's going to be the swing guy. If he's playing well, they're going to stick with him, and they probably should, right? If he starts to slip, that's where, to me, you could see Hallinan. So maybe the chance idea is, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but, that's what it looks like, okay? But his big frame, 6'5", 220, okay, the way he looked in the preseason, I potentially thought he would have gotten the call before Hallinan, but man, it's going to be interesting to watch Brian Hallinan up here, see what he can do. McElwain, if he continues to ride the hot hand, all right, let's see how he continues to perform. I really would let it go Monday night against Columbus. Okay, I would just let them continue to play out the same way they did against Tampa Bay. All right, and if there's an issue, then I would make the change Thursday night when they return home for their home opener against Florida. Okay, maybe that's a spot where Brian Hallinan pops into the lineup. Again, I think, and clearly the article does too, that Shane Lachance should probably get a little bit better look than maybe he's got, right? Based on these reports now that Hallinan's the one coming up, all that kind of stuff. Maybe Lachance should get a better look, okay? Maybe he should. Maybe he's the next guy up. I don't know. I'm not sitting in those meetings with Tom Fitzgerald, but certainly it'll be interesting to watch his development continue. Devils, again, Dadonov, Evgenii Dadonov, unfortunately, is going to be out for some time here, so they're going to have to find a solution that sticks. The problem is that's not Keith's MO, okay? Keith's MO is kind of keep moving things around, okay? And he's done this before where he's moved the lineup, and it's just like, what is going on here? All right, well, why do we keep moving these guys around? Now, when you're in this position, you should be just moving pieces around until you find the one that works. They found the one that worked against Tampa. They should probably leave it as is when they play Columbus, okay? And then, like I said, if you have to make adjustments, do it Thursday night at home when you're back on your home ice, okay? That's my opinion. That's my suggestion. I'd love to hear you guys comment. What are your thoughts on Brian Hallinan being called up? Was he the right call-up for this team? Did you expect it? Did you not? Okay, I want to hear the varying different opinions, all right? And again, just very frustrating if you're a Devils fan already. That's their third injury of a month or more that guys are going to miss time already, and they're only 2 games into the season, and this happened after game 1, so it was really only after 1 game. Kind of crazy just how it's starting already, okay? Brett Pesce has been banged up. I think he left the Carolina game for a little while. He came back, which is great, and he played well Saturday night, but man, he's a guy that's already bruised up, so it's a long, grueling season, as you guys know as hockey fans, so stick with us. It's going to be a lot of fun, all right? And we're going to keep breaking things down, all right? Because, again, yeah, sure, it's 4 weeks at the beginning of the year, but, again, that could cost some chemistry. Maybe he was starting to develop with some of those guys. And, again, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing that it does, as of right now, it puts Andre Palat on the top line with Jesper, Bratt, and Jack Hughes, which I don't want him up there, okay? We'll see how he continues to perform, if he can continue to perform, okay? But I don't want him up there long term, okay? So the Devils need to kind of figure this thing out. And again, I would not touch anything if I was Sheldon Keefe, which means he's going to do the opposite. But I wouldn't touch anything until something goes, until they don't play well, okay? I think that's fair. I think they've earned that to this point. So we'll see what they decide to do. Again, let me know what you think. Who should be in, who should be out, who should move up, okay? And again, the question just becomes too, like, how do you play this? When are you moving Gritsuk up? I've seen some of the comments on some of the other videos, and I know nobody's in a rush to move him up, but if he continues to play well, okay, he played really well in Tampa. If he continues to play well, he's going to prove himself to be a guy that maybe is worth considering moving up in the lineup, playing with some of those top guys. So we'll see how it continues to roll on. Again, be a subscriber to the channel. We need to get to 1,000. I appreciate everybody who listens, who watches to Devil's Digest. You guys are awesome, and we love having you be a part of the community. And we'll catch you next time on Devil's Digest.